Hello, I'm Nigel Cooper and today I'm taking a look at the Ikan PT-Elite Pro 2 teleprompter. This particular model has been designed to accommodate tablets and iPads of varying sizes from 6 by 9 inches up to 9 by 13 inches. The iPad I'm using here is a 5th generation model which has a 9.7 inch screen. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I've also installed the PromptSmart Pro teleprompting software, which is most ingenious in that it is voice recognition. That means I don't need one of those little scrolly wheels to operate the speed, and worse still, I don't need an additional operator to control it for me. Okay, so before getting too far into the video, what I would like to do is just quickly rewind and put this back together again so you can see just how quick and simple it is to put together the Ikan teleprompter. Okay, that's pretty much it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly remove it off the tripod here. So what we have here on the bottom, I've mounted the Manfrotto tripod plate. You've got various amount of holes here so you can get a good balance. The iPad holder itself just simply screws on with this simple D-ring, and that is detachable. And this is built on a standard 15mm rail system. It's all really solid aluminium and steel and really well bolted together. Once it's actually on the tripod, you can actually make some adjustments with these 4 knurled screws here, so you can slide the whole thing back and forth to get a good balance. I've actually got it quite far back because when I put the glass beam splitter on and the camera, it is a little bit front heavy, so I've got it slid all the way back so it balances perfectly. So to actually put the device together, it's simply a case of taking the beam splitter. I'll talk a little bit more about this beam splitter in a minute because it's a very high quality one, because some cheaper brand teleprompters, they can actually interfere with the picture quality. But to put this on, I'm just going to spin this around so I can see what I'm doing. You have this clever design here. It's like a knurled aluminium red knob, and on the other side you've got an extra securing one with these guides that these 2 bits go into, and you have a hole here that this pin will go through. So it's simply a case of aligning that up like so, pulling out the locking lever, locking it into place, and if I just spin it around the other side, we also have this additional locking lever here that you just tighten up, and that's it. Now comes my favourite part, the hood. The hood comes flat packed. It just has 2 zips up either side, and it just falls down like that for easy packing away. To put it together, you just pull it out and pull these zips up like so. And the clever thing about this is it's actually got magnetic strips that are built into the lining down the 2 sides and across the top. So all you have to do is present the hood in a general vicinity of the metal around the beam splitter, and it will snap into place. Like so, that's it. Next, it's a case of putting the camera on. I've actually got this plate here set at the height for DSLRs. As you can see, you've got a higher platform at the front and a lower platform at the back. It's held in place with these 2 knobs here, so you can slide it back and forth. You can slide it all the way off the back, spin it around and put it back in, and have the lower one at the front if you're using a slightly larger camcorder. But for the purposes of DSLRs and mirrorless cameras like this one, you would basically use this one at the front. So I'm just going to tighten this up. That's it, and then just pull the hood around the lens here, and then I'm just going to slide it forward. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin it round because I want to make sure the lens isn't going to actually touch the glass. I want to get it quite close but not actually touching. The reason you might want to get it close is if you're using a wide angle lens, you want it as far forward as possible so that you're not going to get the edges of the hood. And then it's just a case of using these 2 bobbles on either side to pull these drawstrings to make sure no light is going to get in. So when you're reading it from the front, there's no light that you can see from behind. That's it pretty much. So I'm just going to plonk on the iPad, which has got the software already installed. Just give that a little tighten there. There we go. Now what I'm going to do for this, To give you a demonstration of the PromptSmart Pro software and how it works with voice recognition, I'm just going to point this towards the camera so you can see it, and then I'm just going to go out of shot and stand next to the camera that's recording me now, just so I can read this and you can see how it automatically scrolls. So I've got a little button here which has got a play on it. Now when I press play, that's not actually going to make it play, it's just putting it into standby mode so it's ready for my voice. Hello, I'm Nigel Cooper, and during this video presentation I'm going to be taking a look at the Ikan PT-Elite Pro 2 teleprompter. The PT-Elite Pro 2 has been designed to accommodate iPads and tablets ranging from 6 by 9 inches up to a maximum size of 9 by 13 inches. For the purposes of this demonstration, I have installed the superb PromptSmart Pro voice recognition software, which means there is no need for a handheld speed controller or an additional person to operate it. So there you go. As you can see, it tracks and follows my voice really well, and if I stop reading, it recognizes the fact that I'm no longer reading off the prompter, and it will pause and wait for me to continue. So in terms of build quality, the whole construction is made out of aluminium and steel. It's really high quality. The camera platform is really solid, and it just seems to be put together and bolted together really well. This hood is really solid. It's a good piece of, it's like a really stiff canvas, and I've already mentioned the magnetic strips that hold this all in place, which makes it quick and easy to put together. Now just a little bit about the beam splitter. Depending on which brand of teleprompter you go for, some of the lesser brands have got inferior quality beam splitters. It's always important to know these things because with the glass beam splitter you will lose a bit of light. On this one it's about a stop. That's just something that naturally happens because it's a 70-30 split and mirrored glass. Some of the cheaper ones you can lose over 2 stops of light. So with this one it's about a stop, which is pretty good, and it's about as good as you will possibly get. Next, you have to also consider the quality of the glass. I remember 3 or 4 years back I used quite a cheap teleprompter, and the beam splitter in it was of such inferior quality it was almost like it was adding a bit of Gaussian blur to the image. It actually made it a little bit soft, so it lost the sharpness and it lost detail. I've actually done a test with this because I've been using it for a couple of days now, and I've taken some stills pictures with this Z7 through the beam splitter, and then I've taken the beam splitter off and taken stills picture again of the same item. What I did was I pinned a magazine to the wall, and then in post-production I had a look at with and without, and there's absolutely nothing in it that I could really ascertain. It was negligible, if anything at all. Also, you've got to be careful with some of the lesser, cheaper beam splitters that you can get a bit of a colour shift. With this one, the colour shift is absolutely negligible. There's a tiny amount, but you get that on pretty much all teleprompting systems. It's just the nature of the beam splitter. But with this, it's about as negligible as I've ever seen, and it will barely even require any post-production correction work. So that's the Ikan PT-Elite Pro 2 teleprompter. I've put a link in the description below for both the prompter and for the PromptSmart Pro software, which is available on the App Store for, I think it's about $19.95 or pounds. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again real soon.